What are some things you'd only know by growing up poor? I never realized we were poor until I was around 12. See, at my middle school, there was this girl named Fiona who always had a Lunchables in her lunchbox. Not the cheap Bologna ones either. She had the ones with the little Capri Sun and candy. One day she was absent and didn't want her lunch to go to waste, so her mom gave it to me. I was so excited that I did something I thought was completely normal. I carefully separated every component, saved half for my little brother Justin, and washed out the plastic tray to reuse later. When Fiona came back the next day, she asked if I liked the Lunchables. I enthusiastically showed her how I'd cleaned the tray, and was now using it to separate my own lunch component. The look on her face, this mixture of confusion and something else I couldn't identify at the time, now I know it was pity, was the first crack in my understanding of what was normal. That's when I started noticing things, like how my mom had this entire system at her work. She cleaned office buildings at night, and she had what she called her food drawer in the break room. It was filled with cleaned out margarine containers, yogurt tubs, and those plastic containers that rotisserie chickens come in. Whenever there were office parties or meetings with catering, she'd volunteer to clean up. That meant first dibs on leftovers. I remember the day I realized not everyone's mom did this. I was at a sleepover at Fiona's house, and her mom ordered pizza. When we were done, she just threw away the leftovers. Just like that. 3 perfectly good slices. Straight into the trash. I actually gasped out loud. Fiona's mom asked what was wrong, and without thinking, I blurted out, "Don't you have any containers?" My mom always says food waste is like throwing away money. The thing is, these weren't even our most creative survival strategies. We had adventure baths when the hot water got shut off. Mom would heat water on the stove and make it seem like we were camping or playing explorer. She'd tell us stories about pioneers while we took turns washing up with warm water from a pot. I genuinely thought it was fun until I mentioned it to my friend Amira at school, and she looked at me like I'd grown a second head. The food rules in our house were unspoken but absolute. You never take the last of anything without asking. The good food, meaning anything name brand or special, was saved for when someone really needed a mood boost. Bread ends became breadcrumbs. Every fast food sauce packet was saved, every plastic bag was washed and reused, every glass jar became a drinking glass or storage container. But here's what really gets me now. My mom's incredible effort to protect our dignity. Like when Justin needed a scientific calculator for math class. Instead of telling him we couldn't afford it, she picked up extra cleaning shifts for 2 weeks straight. She told him she was saving it for a special occasion, so he wouldn't feel guilty about the expense. We had this thing called shopping the house before any actual shopping trip. Mom would make it into a game, where we'd go through all our stuff to find things we could repurpose or reuse before buying anything new. Broken crayons were melted down and reformed, old t-shirts became cleaning rags, jeans with holes became shorts for summer. Every purchase had to be justified by proving we couldn't create a solution from what we already had. The most profound thing wasn't the obvious stuff like wearing worn-out shoes or never going on vacation. It was the survival skills you develop without realizing they're survival skills, like knowing exactly how many meals you can stretch from a box of pasta and a can of tomato sauce. Understanding that I'm not hungry usually means I'm saving my portion so you can eat more. Learning to fix things instead of replace them, to find joy in small victories, and to master the art of making do. These memories hit differently now that I'm older. Last week, I was at the grocery store, and I caught myself automatically reaching for the cheapest option of everything, calculating price per ounce, and planning how to stretch each item across multiple meals. Old habits die hard, I guess. I started crying in the cereal aisle because they had Frosted Flakes on sale, the name brand ones, not the generic frosted corn flakes we always got. Mom would buy the name brand ones maybe once a year, usually around our birthdays, and we'd make them last for weeks by eating them dry as a snack, saving the good milk for regular cereal.